What's the word with my brothers and sisters, huh? What's the word with my brothers and sisters? Shalom, y'all. Hopefully everybody's doing all right. Hopefully, um, you know, we doing smooth, we doing all right, we doing good, we doing prosperous. That's one to go, right? How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling in the building? So, how we doing in the building? Right. So, of course, first and foremost, I do want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God, Abba Yahweh. We do so in the name of His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shah Mashiach, who the world literally calls Jesus Christ. Mm. Hold on. Make sure y'all sharing the video. So I greatly appreciate y'all very, very much. So, help. We will be going over the law, which we are supposed to be following. Right. So we're going over the law today. How to judge. Now this works with everything, y'all. This works with a situation with the rib. It works with a situation with your friend, your brother. It works with a situation with coworkers. If you're a manager, helps you. If you are a business owner, helps you. Uh, if you go out there and teach the Bible, it helps you, so on and so forth. People come to you with problems because you follow the Bible and they see how wise you are. This helps you. It helps you. Right. Put a one in the chat if my audio was good. Baba Kushah. I got the mic working again. I don't know if y'all have peep. I'm wearing these big headphones because I'm trying to make sure it stays connected. But put a one in the chat if y'all can hear me loud and clear. Um, maybe that is a little too close on my face. Let me change this up. I want to see this new design I made. I'll show you about the new design. Let's see. Like this. Yo, way up. All right. How you feel about that? All right, because then I can share this. I'm trying to figure out what this. Then I can share something like this, you know. Uh, I ain't gonna hold you. I'm fucking with it. That look dope. That look dope. Right, but we're going over judgment, right? What did Christ say about judgment? Um, what does the law say about judgment? Right, we follow the law. What does the law say about judgment? How should we judge? Which way should we go? Let me share this real quick, and then we're gonna get started. Are y'all hearing that clicking? Salaki. I had to make sure. So y'all telling me this whole time. Okay. Maybe that's better. Oh, it's the cord. The cord is messed up. But Lord willing, it's better now. Yeah. Okay. So let's begin on this beautiful lesson. Lord in Christ, ain't nothing more crazier than a damn study slash live slash watch movie desk. So let's begin. We're gonna start with Second Chronicles. Right? We're gonna start with Second Chronicles. Big ass mic in the way. Chronicles 19. Yeah. Turn this down. Right. So Second Chronicles 19 and 5. Right. So y'all see a lot of the times I go into Isaiah 1 and 5. Right. And in Isaiah 1 and 5, Yahweh says that he will restore the judges as at the first. Right? He will restore the judges as at the first, because we have unrighteous judges, right? As if, and he likens it to him purifying silver, right? He's getting the dross off of the silver and he's skimming off the slag, right? He's getting rid of the things that are just not useful, because you have judges that are in position to judge righteously, but they don't judge righteously, right? So in Second Chronicles 19 and 5, it says, and he set judges in the land throughout all the fenced cities of Judah, city by city, and said to the judges, take heed what you do, for you judge not for man, but for Yahweh, who is with you in judgment. Be careful making judgments, y'all. Now, I've been planning on doing this live for a minute, and that Juno Greek video is coming out very soon. But I'll remake this in the whole video. But you got to be very careful on your judgments. Now, though you're not in the actual judgment seat and you're not given an actual judgment, but here we are trying to rehearse the righteous acts of Yahweh. That's what we're trying to do, right? So try to do better in judgment, right? Because if you were to play the part in actually being a judge, you would then be judging on behalf of Yahweh. And you better be very careful on the judgment that you give, because if you give a wrong judgment, your ass grab, boy. Let's take a look at this word for judgment. So we see for you judge. All right, now let's take a look at this word for judge. It's a verb, which means to judge, to govern, vindicate, punish, to act as a lawgiver or judge or govern of God or man, to rule, govern, to decide controversy of God or of men, to execute judgment, discriminating, to enter controversy, right? The strongest definition. It says by implication to vindicate or punish, by extension to govern, passively to litigate, literally or figuratively, avenge, that condemn, contend, defend, execute judgment, be a judge, judgment, needs, plead, reason, rule. Right. So um can you actually give a judgment out? Yeah, you can. Um say if somebody does something wrong and you don't like it, and then you just forever will never talk to that person again, that's that person's judgment. You gave him a judgment. Or now you don't like that man, right? It's not like you hate him, you just don't like him. That was the judgment that you gave, right? If you choose to never trust somebody again, that's the judgment. If they did something, whether they actually did it or they didn't do it, you're just accusing them of doing it, and you never trust them again because of that, you judge them. That was the judgment. The judgment is they don't have your trust no more, right? Therefore, you have to be very careful of the judgment which you make, right? So, but this one, it says, for Yahweh who is with you in the judgment, right? The judgment, this one is a masculine noun. It means speech, word, speaking, thing, saying, utterance, word, words, business, occupation, acts, matter, case, something, manner, by extension. We're not reading all that, but it's spoken, talk, task, that, counsel, confer, decree, deed, do, duty, effect, errand, eloquent, judgment, language. I said that wrong. Provision, promise, right? So on and so forth, right? So Yahweh is supposed to be with us while we say these judgments, right? He's supposed to be with us. Well, who knows in the chat, what does Torah mean? What does the word Torah mean? And if you can say it or type it in Hebrew, please do type it in the Hebrew as well. What does it mean, though? Trying to figure out what the word Torah means. Boom. Instruction. The word Torah simply means instruction. If you do not, or if you don't follow the Torah, you are going against the instruction of Yahweh. You're blatantly going against the instructions in which Yahweh gave you so that you follow. So if you say and give a judgment and don't follow the biblical practice of how to judge something, you are blatantly disobeying the instructions of Yahweh. So what's the importance, or what should we do? Well, we should understand how to judge. Here's what I mean by that. We're gonna read the Torah. But if you go celebrate Feast of Tabernacles, you should probably read about tabernacles and how to celebrate it and what's the do's and what's the don'ts in the Feast of Tabernacles. That's what you should do, right? If you're going to celebrate the Passover, you should listen to the do's and the don'ts of what we should do and not do for the Feast of Passover. It's the same thing with judgment, right? Now, if you're not capable of executing it, you can't do it. If you can't go to Jerusalem, you can't go to Jerusalem, right? But you can execute the things in which God gave you the capability to execute. So if you're going to judge and play the part of a judge, play it right. Do it properly. And here's what I mean by that. We're just going to keep reading, right? So in 2 Chronicles 19:7, it says, wherefore now let the fear of the Lord be upon you. Take heed and do it, for there is no iniquity with Yahweh our God, nor respect of persons, nor taking of gifts, right? Which is part of the law, Deuteronomy 1:17, right? Did I quote that right? It might be 10:17. Hold on. No, 10:17. Hold on. I was right.
Deuteronomy 1:17. You shall not respect persons in judgment, but you shall hear the matters small as well as the great. You shall not be afraid of the face of man, for the judgment is God's, and the cause that is too hard for you, bring it unto me, and I will hear it. Right. So shout out to Issachar Strong and Robert. All right. Who the hell is it? Buddy Fly. Um, so shout out to them brothers. So um let's read it again. Let's go back. Okay, I'm good. I don't need it. I don't need to listen to this in my ear. This one, yes, but not the other one. Dawara. Yeah, I believe there's an H at the end though. So back to Second Chronicles 19, right? Verse 7, it says, wherefore now let the fear of Yahweh be upon you, take heed and do it. For there is no iniquity with Yahweh our God, no respect of persons, nor taking of gifts. Meaning, it doesn't matter what somebody has to offer. It doesn't matter what somebody said. It doesn't matter your relationship with anybody. You should not respect them in terms of judgment, right? Again, there is no fear. Now let the fear of the Lord be upon you, right? Meaning there is no fear of anything else when given this judgment, right? You have to judge righteously. That's why when we just read in Deuteronomy 1:17, it says, do not fear men. Don't care about what they have to say. You give the proper judgment. You tell them what it is, right? So if the president, okay, I don't even want to say president. Yeah, I get what I'm saying. It says, take heed and do it, for there is no iniquity with Yahweh our God. Right. So when it comes time to, there's a council, because that's how judgments are established, is a council. That's how you give proper judgment, is there has to be a council and there has to be a judge, right? And the law of judgment, right? Which is what we're going to get in a second. It's not just immediately just give them the judgment because you heard something. No, that's not how we move and operate. That's not how Christ moved and operate. When they came to him with the adulterous woman, he didn't make fun of her. He didn't forsake her. He said, listen, fix your ways. Cut the shit out. That's what he did. And if we're supposed to be imitators of our Lord and Savior, we should do that. So when you see somebody walking around the street and, well, they're not really righteous, still have love and compassion for that brother, right? Or sister, right? So moving on. Verse 8. It says, moreover, in Jerusalem did Jehoshaphat set of the Levites and of the priests and of the chief of the fathers for the judgment of Yahweh and for controversies when they returned to Jerusalem. So we had a judicial system. We had judges in our system for the judgment of Yahweh and for controversies, right? When they returned to Jerusalem. It says, and he charged them, saying, thus you shall do in the fear of Yahweh faithfully and with a perfect heart, right? That word perfect, of course, means complete, peaceful, perfect, whole, full, at peace, finished, safe, or unharmed, of a covenant of peace of mind or mind. It says peaceably made ready, perfect, quiet, shalom, mistake for a name, whole, right? So boom, you have to have a perfect, a peaceable, and a complete mind, right? Which ultimately just means your inner man, your mind, your heart, your soul, understanding. You have to have perfect understanding of judgment before playing the part of a judge. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all are following along. And y'all agree. Put a 2 in the chat if you're not following along and you don't agree. We are supposed to have a complete mind and a complete inner man and a established and peaceable inner man before making a judgment. So you have to be 100% understanding of the law of judgment and understand what it takes to be a judge, what a judge should do, how a judge should judge, what should he listen for, what should he look for, what should he pay attention to. All of that you have to get before putting yourself in a position to actually judge any matter. Right? All praises. We got 3 ones, and that's all we need, right? Because that references the south side of Jerusalem, which is the southern kingdom. Now, fortunately, we have a baby rhino. Oh, an aged rhino. Shout out to that brother. A lot of stuff put a 1 and Lily put a 1, right? Shout out to y'all. What icon is that? Never mind. But let's continue on. Right. Oh, look, it says as a seat of courage. I didn't even put that as a seat of emotions and passion. Right. So you must have a complete understanding of judgment before actually going into a council or something like that, right? 2 Chronicles 19:10. And what cause soever shall come to you of your brethren that dwell in your cities, between blood and blood, between law and commandment, statutes and judgments, you shall even warn them that trespass not against the Lord, and so wrath come upon you and upon your brethren. This do, and you shall not trespass. Let's read this in the NLT. It says, whenever a case comes to you from fellow citizens in an outlying town, whether a murder case or some other violation of God's law, commandments, decrees, or regulations, you must warn them not to sin against Yahweh, so that he will not be angry with you in them. Do this, and you will not be guilty. You have to warn them to not experience rhino. You have to warn them to not do it. Don't sin. Rebuke your brother, right? That way the fault is not on you because you rebuked them, right? You don't want to have the blood on your hands though, right? So you got to address them. 2 Chronicles 19:11. And behold, Amariah, the chief priest, is over you in all matters of Yahweh, and Zebediah, the son of Ishmael, the ruler of that's not Ishmael, the father of the Ishmaelites, all right. The ruler of the house of Judah, for all the king's matters, also the Levites shall be officers over you. Deal courageously, and Yahweh shall be with you with the good, right? Yahweh will be with the good, because you will have judges that are just not good, right? They're evil judges. So like, let's go to Ephesians 4 really quick, and then we'll jump straight into the law. Ephesians 4, we're going to read it in the NLT. I mean, not Ephesians 4, I'm tripping. Galatians 6. That's what I want. All right, now I definitely do this on the street. I try to do it to the best of my ability. But Galatians 6:1 in the NLT, it says, dear brothers and sisters, if another believer, the footnote is just another man. If another man, right? If you have a people of your own nation, is overcome by some sin, if somebody is found sinning, if somebody is in a sin, you who are godly should gently and humbly help that person back onto the right path. And be careful not to fall into the same temptation yourself, right? Because again, when you try to help a brother on his path, you have to understand him. If you're not familiar about what he's going through, well, then you have to kind of not do it, but you have to understand his perspective. You have to see where he's coming from, why he gave into that sin, what caused him to go back into it. But be aware, because that same spirit might see that you're kind of looking into and be like, oh, well, maybe he wants to join. No. I'm just trying to get to where my brother's at mentally so I can properly help him, because he's not really seeing properly, but I am. So I can help my brother back to his original state, which will make him 10 times better than he first was, right? Now, am I saying anything like, oh, you should never punish a brother? No. I mean, yeah, some brothers need certain punishments, not like getting the stones punishment. I ain't finna pick up no stone, That's what the fuck I ain't finna do. But like Daniel Allah had put, Wisdom of Solomon 101, love righteousness, that ye be judges of the earth. Think of Yahweh with a good heart, and in simplicity of heart, seek him. All right, but it all begins with loving righteousness. And what is righteousness? Psalms 119 and 142, the law, right? Was it 172? Psalms 119. Oh, that's the NLT. Wonder why I was tripping. It's 172 or 1. Yeah. Psalms 119 and 172. It says, my tongue shall speak of your word, for all your commandments are righteousness. Right? So that's what we have to do. Right? So moving forward, we have a little bit of the steps. Right? You want to make sure that you try everything in your best ability. It doesn't matter who it is, to gently correct them so that they can understand where they're wrong at and then bring them back. Because I ain't gonna care if I'm walking around and I'm going through it, and let's say I have violent intentions and somebody can see that I have violent intentions. If somebody tells me that I'm wicked as all hell and that I'm evil and that I'm dumb and I'm this and I'm that, while I'm going through that, I'm not finna listen to them. You just finna rile that spirit up, right? But if somebody comes to an understanding with me and tries to level with me, then I'm gonna get, okay, hey bro, I ain't gonna cap you talk me off of the ledge, so to say. All right, did you go to Sirach where it says want not to be a judge? No, I didn't, and I didn't even have that on here. The water. I would let's see, why is that popping up? Where's my phone at? Oh, that's right. How is it worded? If you could put that in the chat. This nigga wild. If you could post that verse in the chat box, so I can pull it up. But so let us begin. Right. So let's read Deuteronomy 13 first. So Deuteronomy 13 is a 4. No, I mean it works for, but Deuteronomy 13 and 14. Let's start up. We can start at 14. Right. Deuteronomy 13 and 14. And it says, then okay, we'll start up. Right. Deuteronomy 13 and 12. If you shall hear say in one of thy cities, which Yahweh thy God hath given you to dwell there, saying, certain men, the children of Belial, are gone out from among you and have withdrawn the inhabitants of their city, saying, let us go and serve other gods which you have not known. Right. So it's talking about if you hear of idolatry in one of your cities, then shall you inquire and make search and ask diligently, and behold, if it be true and the thing certain that such abomination is wrought among you, thou shalt surely smite the inhabitants of thy city with the edge of the sword, destroying it utterly, and all that is therein, and the cattle thereof with the edge of the sword. So idolatry is capital punishment, right? What's the word, Judah Israel? What's the word? Shalom, peace and blessings to you and your families, right? So idolatry equals all hell, right? Okay. Idolatry is something, turn this, yes. That is capital punishment, right? That's what you get when you worship different gods. Why is it? So even if we hear idolatry, we don't just run over there with pitchforks because we heard somebody say something, because we seen somebody bring back an idol, or we seen it. No, we have to have diligent. It said, listen, it didn't tell you just, okay. Hold Hold on. I'm late, but I showed up. Yeah, you was a moderator. Oh, you talking about because you talking about on the Tazarop channel? Oh yes, I'm gonna have to go live again on Tazarop channel, or I might be able to do it if you commented on one of the videos. I'll check it out. But it says, then you shall inquire. Let's see what the word inquire means in the Hebrew. Again, this is literally judgment. You heard a sin. You were told to go inquire about this sin. And then you were given the judgment, which is kill all the inhabitants thereof. It says, then you shall inquire, which, if I'm not mistaken, is darash, which is to resort, seek with care, inquire, require, to resort to. Let's go down. It says, make inquisition. Question, search, seek out, diligently, right? Specifically for worship or to worship. I'm over here writing all over my hand. So if you want to judge a matter, you have to have the spirit of asking questions to see if somebody or what that person said was true. Khan? Put a 1 in the chat if you agree. Put a all capital con if you agree. Right? In order for anybody, Shalom, Jay, what's happening? What's the word, man? For anybody to make a judgment, you have to have the spirit of asking questions as to who's telling the truth and who's not. Big ass jug of water. Big ass jug of water. She put it twofold. She put the con and the 4 ones. Now the 4 ones represent Judah because oh shit. Brother said con, the Arabic way. It's all good. They got trying not to laugh. Oh shit. Yeah, man. I don't like them little small water bottles because I had water bottles everywhere. So I just get a big old jug. And you finna just leave that on the floor. Or on the bed or on the couch. You know, I'm kicking that motherfucker. But yeah, it's K-A-N. Right, con. That's how you spell it. It's all good. I was just making jokes. So you have to understand the whole matter, right? Right. You have to ask questions. If somebody says, oh, he committed adultery, with who? Where is this adulteress? Where is she at? I can't talk to her. Do you have any proof? No. Well, I can't. I mean, I can't just make a man guilty or say that a man is guilty because you said something. I mean, I can't just do that, right? But we're gonna get an example. Talking about Genghis Khan. We're gonna get an example. We'll read the end of it, but I'll tell the story in a second. But we'll get an example of that happening. And it wasn't only, it was stopped when a powerful brother by the name of Daniel did his job, right? So let's keep reading, right? So you have to make diligent inquisition, or not diligent, and you should inquire. And then it says, and to make search. Where is that? To make search, which is hakwar, which means to search out, examine, investigate, examine thoroughly. My nigga, if you didn't examine thoroughly, don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. A lot of times I was asked a question, I literally said, hey, I don't know what they did. I'm only getting your word. I ain't saying nothing about that. I can't say nothing about that. Because I don't give a judgment out unless I've heard the whole matter. I have to hear both sides. I have to literally ask questions from both parties if I want to give an actual judgment or an opinion. Otherwise, I'll just say, I don't have an opinion on it. I don't. I mean, it sounds wrong, but I don't know if that's true or not. Man, you think I'll lie to you? I don't think you will, but it's not about what I think. It's not about what I feel. It's about what is right and what God tells me to do. But a lot of people, ruined by their emotions, give judgments off of they feel. You have it all the time in our community. It's just all the time. You give judgments off of how you feel. You feel like a man should die, so the nigga should die. You feel like a nigga should have, or you should have a nigga watch, so you have a nigga watch. Hey, that's a judgment based off of feelings and emotions, right? King Solomon had a cold way of judging too. Hey, listen, my man said, listen, just cut the baby in half. I said, oh, okay. Y'all argue about who baby this is. Cut it in half. Cut the baby in half. Cold as hell. Cold as hell. Because the woman whose child it wasn't, she said, oh, yeah, let's just cut the baby in half. But the mother, the actual mother, she said, no. Let her have the baby. Let her have the baby because she genuinely loved her son. So she said, no, that's my son, but I don't want my son to die. So she can have my son. Just so my son can live. And that's how they found out whose child that was. But the woman whose child that wasn't, yeah, cut him in half. Yeah, because that's not your child. That's why you don't care. Right. So examine thoroughly. If you didn't examine the situation thoroughly, don't give an opinion. You just leave it. It says, and ask. These are things that God is requiring us to do. We are in the law right now. Deuteronomy 13 and 14. This is the thing that God is telling us to do. These are verbs. Right? It says ask, borrow, beg. Beg. Nah, not beg. To ask for oneself. Ask of for absence. Not this one. Which one is it? Earnestly inquire, greet, obtain, leave, lend, pray, request. It's more so just talking about the inquire. Straight questions, get to the point. Later charge, consult, demand, borrow, demand. Okay, clearly it's not talking about borrow. It's talking about the inquiring and then searching out, right? But then it says diligently, which means to be good, be pleasing, be well, be glad, successful, right? A man use a right, benefit, better, best, make cheerfully, comely, be content, diligently, earnestly, find favor, give glad, right? So do it to the best of your ability. Do all of these things to the best of your ability. That's what you do if you want to judge a situation, right? I done hit a Houdini on that motherfucker and just disappeared. My bad, y'all. Hold on. Oh, but I'm doing this because we have to work on it, right? Everybody has to work on it. It helps us. It is part of our law, right? So now let's deal with. Let's start before we get Exodus 23. Start at Deuteronomy 19. Slacking. And 15. 622. Okay. So it says, one witness shall not rise up against a man for any iniquity or for any sin. In any sin that he sinneth. So thought it was the rapture. Hey. Thought a nigga was up near, huh? I would have been out. Listen, and I would not have looked back because I don't want to be a pillar of salt. I would have been like, hey, I'm out. Nah, I would have seen y'all up there, little really. But what was I about to say? Oh, it doesn't matter what sin it is. One person cannot condemn somebody. Right? It's just not enough. If one person says, like, yeah, he's a thief, even if he is a thief, we just can't do that. Right? Just an all-around thing. Because if one person says, oh, he's a thief, he stole from me, and then you make him pay it back, well, who's to say somebody else won't just peep the shit and then just do the same thing? Like, oh, he stole from me. Oh, well, give him the money. That's why we have Luke 19. Should I pull that up? What is it? 6? it's 5. So Luke 19, we'll start at 1. It says, and Yahushua entered and passed through Jericho, and behold, there was a man named Zacchaeus. I always get that messed up. Which was chief among the publicans, and he was rich, right? And he sought to see Yahushua who he was, and could not for the press, because he was little of stature. He was a short nigga. And he ran before. My bad. Listen, the feeble will be as David in the. I apologize, y'all. No, but he was a short man. It says, and he ran before and climbed up into a sycamore tree to see him. Listen, the brother wanted to see Yahushua. This brother had an urgent desire to see our Lord and Savior. And I ain't gonna cap, if I was a short nigga too, I'd definitely climb a tree as well. I don't care how many times it takes. I'm climbing that tree so I can see him. I just want to see him, right? For he was to pass that way, right? So he's like, boom, he's coming this way. Oh, boom, I'm up there and climb the tree. Smart nigga. Verse 5, it says, and when Yahushua came to the place, he looked up and saw him and said unto him, Zacchaeus, make haste and come down, for today I must abide at your house. Imagine, right? That's fucked up. Now, Christ done chose this man to dwell in his house that day. Right? You better watch how you speak about this short king, man. Verse 6, it says, and he made haste and came down and received him joyfully. And when they saw it, they all murmured, saying that he was gone to be he was gone to be guest with a man that is a sinner. And Zacchaeus stood and said unto the Lord, behold, Lord, the half of my goods I give to the poor. And if I have taken anything from any man by false accusation, I restore him fourfold. Meaning people were accusing him of stealing, and he returned everything fourfold, right? He was a brother who was always being accused of stealing, but he always returned it fourfold. He was a good brother, right? And that's why the Lord chose him, because he understood how good this brother was. But that's what happens when you have unrighteous judgments, right? You will always be accused of stealing, and people will always say that you're a thief, this, and that, so on and so forth, right? This is why we need to know how to judge, right? Now, I want to say something really quick. If a man is guilty of one sin, that does not mean every other sin that is thrown at him, he is guilty for as well. You have countless cases of our people who committed one sin, and because of that sin, they were never properly able to receive the same love as they had before, because they thought any other thing that was thrown up against him, he was guilty of as well. That's just our people. And I'm literally talking about in the world or out the world, right? In our lifetime, before our lifetime. It's always happened, right? Because a man fell once, he wasn't properly loved after that. And if anything came up against him, he would always be the first one to be questioned. Oh, yeah. He's guilty for sure. Because remember, he did that. Remember? So the reason they said he was a sinner for false accusations. Yup. Yup. Okay, people were jealous. All right, but back to Deuteronomy 19:5, it says, in any sin that he sinneth, at the mouth of 2 witnesses, or at the mouth of 3 witnesses, shall the matter be established. But mind you, in Susanna, this is why I wanted to wait to explain the story. In Susanna, you had 2 elders. Y'all gotta read it's just one chapter. It's 69 verses or 68 verses, somewhere in the 60 verses, but y'all gotta read it, right? It's a powerful sister who exemplified patience, who exemplified faith, humility, humbleness, and fear of Yahweh, right? She did that, right? She was accused of committing adultery because 2 freaky ass niggas wanted to lay down with her, right? She was married. They were watching her. They were stalking her day in and day out, and they wanted to lay down with her. She said, no, I'm not going for it. right? I'm not doing it. So the two elders went and made a false accusation on this woman and said that she committed adultery, but they couldn't hold down the young man that she was laying with, so he got away. But because there was two witnesses, and these two witnesses were respected within the community, therefore everybody believed them until the man Daniel did his job. Right? I'll read the end portion of that. Right, so this is the book of Susanna. It's found in the Apocrypha, right? I mean, you could just look up, it's 64 verses, right? So you could just look it up online if you don't have an Apocrypha, right? So I'm gonna see where he says. Boom, verse 44. And Yahweh heard her voice. Therefore, when she was led to be put to death, the Lord raised up the Holy Spirit of a young man, of a young youth, whose name was Daniel, who cried with a loud voice, I am clear from the blood of this woman. Then all the people turned them toward him and said, what mean these words that you have spoken? He said, listen, I'm innocent of anything y'all about to do to this woman. There's a, what the hell are you talking about? So he, standing in the midst of them, said, are you such fools, you sons of Israel, that without examination or knowledge of the truth, you have condemned a daughter of Israel? And a lot of people consistently fall victim to the same mentality that the elders did. You didn't do no examination, you have no knowledge of the truth, and you have condemned somebody without giving proper judgment. This is why, and these are the reasons why y'all could never be judges. You can confound Christians. You can break down each tribe. You can understand prophecies. You can dream dreams, but you can never be a judge because you refuse to do the things in which Yahweh told you to do. Return again to the place of judgment, for they have borne false witness against her. He knows that they are wrong because he peeped something. He paid attention. He examined what was going on, and he understand the vile affections of these men. So he said, y'all are ignorant. Y'all did no examination. You have no knowledge of the truth, and you have been polluted in your judgment because somebody was well respected and an elder in the community. Jumping down, he then asked them a question. And the question that he asked them was simply, what tree were y'all under? Right? Was it y'all or was it them? Hold on. Okay, it was them. So I'm just going to read the first one. And mind you, he used a scaring tactic with them, right? He says, so when they were put asunder one from another, so he separated the two elders. He called one of them and said unto him, O you that are waxen old in wickedness, now your sins, which you have committed aforetime, are come to light. So he's scaring them because he knows y'all are bullshitting. Excuse my language. I got to stop doing that. For you have pronounced false judgment and have condemned the innocent and has let the guilty go free. Albeit the Lord saith, the innocent and righteous shall thou not slay. Now then, if you have seen her, tell me, under what tree sawest you them companioning together? Who answered, under a mastic tree. So the first one answered under a mastic tree. He said, y'all, you lying. Then he asked the second one, now therefore tell me, under what tree did you take them companioning together? Who answered, under an home tree. So he found out that they was lying because they gave two different stories. But if y'all both caught them, y'all would both have the same answer. But you guys are giving different answers because you guys are lying, right? And so, verse 60, verse 60, it says, with that all the assembly cried out with a loud voice and praised God, who saveth them that trust in him. And they arose against the elders, for Daniel had convicted them of false witness by their own mouth. And according to the law of Moses, they did unto them in such sort as they maliciously intended to do to their neighbor. And they put them to death. Thus the innocent blood was saved that same day. Right? Therefore, Celsius and his wife praised God for their daughter Susanna and Joachim, her husband, and all the kindred, because there was no dishonesty found in her. From that day forth was Daniel had in great reputation in the sight of the people, because he simply just followed the law. And he made diligent inquisition, and he found out who was telling the truth and who was lying. That's all he did. It's very simple. It's not hard. All he simply did was, it doesn't matter if you have one witness. It doesn't matter if you have two witnesses. It doesn't matter if you have three witnesses. But you cannot just establish a matter under one witness. That's just not how it works, right? Unless that witness has proof. Like if the witness has a video, like he has a camera hidden in his house and the person went in the room and he stole out of his savings, that's different. It's one man, but he has proof. You're literally on camera, right? So I have a second witness technically, which is yourself. But it's proof. But it doesn't even matter if there's two witnesses. If both of them are lying, they're wrong, right? Verse 16. If a false witness rise up against any man to testify against him that which is wrong, then both the men between whom the controversy is, shall stand before Yahweh, before the priest and the judges, which shall be in those days. And the judges shall make diligent inquisition. And behold, if the witness be a false witness, and he had testified falsely against his brother, then shall ye do unto him as he had thought to have done unto his brother. So shall you put the evil away from among you. This is why, listen, some of y'all just can never be judges. You don't judge a matter before you hear a second part. You don't judge a matter quickly. You don't judge a matter in haste. You don't judge a matter without asking questions. You don't judge a matter you don't do that. That's not what we do, right? You judge a man according to the law. You judge him according to how the law tells you to judge him. Let's stop. Let's stop. Exodus 23, right? Which is a beautiful chapter. Outstanding chapter, right? Exodus 23:1, it says, thou shalt not raise a false report. Put not your hand with the wicked to be an unrighteous witness. So now we're talking about witnesses. We're talking about somebody who's supposed to be a man or a woman who tells the truth, right? This is what happened. This happened, right? It says, you shall not follow a multitude to do evil, neither shall you speak in a cause to decline after many to wrest judgment. What does this mean? Simple. Let's just read it in the NLT. You must not follow a crowd in doing wrong. Just because a crowd does it, you don't do it. When you are called to testify in a dispute, do not be swayed by the crowd to twist judgment. A lot of times, because it's just the thing to do, we just do it, right? Shalom, peace and blessings to your family. Peace and blessings, right? We just do it. We just follow along with what everybody else is saying, what everybody else is doing, because we don't read the law of God concerning judgment. Stay out of it. It's not your thing. You don't know how to do it. You didn't execute it. Cap said something. We live the scriptures. We teach them. We read them. We write them down. We give them out like in flyers and stuff like that. We also live them first. We have to live them first. You have to teach yourself, this is what I must do. It's not, oh, now I got a cold break. I got a cold breakdown on judgment. I'm finna give y'all a cold breakdown on judgment, but never do it myself. I don't know if y'all noticed, but when I be debating, I'll be making diligent inquisition. I literally use the law to debate, and it helps me. You will see me ask a ton of questions. That's what I like to do. I like to ask a ton of questions while debating, because if your doctrine is true, well, guess what? It's going to have to hold under the light, and it's going to have to be scrutinized. And if it's the truth, there should be no holes in it. So the last brother that came up here, he said his name was Mike. I still don't believe him, but that's what he said. He said that the law and the prophets were done away with at Jesus, at the transfiguration in Matthew 17. Then he said the law and the prophets were done when John came on the scene. They were until John. So I asked him, when? Was it when John baptized them? Well, then he took us to Matthew 3. Okay, cool. So it must have been when John baptized him. Is that when the law and the prophets were done away with? I didn't get an answer, because if he said yes, well, then I mean, I have other questions, but I'm gonna wait, because I feel like we're gonna go back on that conversation. But most Christians say that the law was done away with at the time of Christ's death. But I mean, he did say, keeping the law of Moses, we will be disrespecting God, whatever the hell that means. But I get it though, because in order to be a man who does not want to follow the laws of God, you have to look at something that is something that you would have to look at it as something evil to do, right? That's just not what I do. Verse 2. Well, we read that. Verse 3. Neither shall you countenance a poor man in his cause. Right? The NLT says, and do not slant your testimony in favor of a person just because that person is poor. Poor niggas can be wrong too. Okay. Rich people can be wrong. Poor people can be wrong. Fat people can be wrong. Skinny people can be wrong. It just happens, right? Super sharp brothers can be wrong. Dull brothers can be wrong. My bad. I don't mean to call y'all dull. Brothers who are just not well versed in the Bible can be wrong, right? Anybody can be wrong, right? Swiss cheese. Anybody can be wrong. You have to hear the matter in its totality, right? Even if you don't want to hear it, if you're gonna make a decision, watch this. I'm gonna show you. My goofy head. I should have done this first. Here's why this is important, y'all. I'll show you something, because we read this all the time to prove a point, to cut a Christian. But the Bible is not just to cut Christians. The Bible is for us nerds too. Yes, nerds too. Nerds too. Right? Why is it doing? Oh, this is dead. Hold on. Salakia. So, yes, the Bible can be utilized to cut false doctrines. True, but we live it. This is our life. I know that Christians all the time bring out John 3:16. For God so loved the world that, and we just like, come on, God damn. Like, oftentimes we just not like the verse, because Christians bring it out so much. And it's like, dude, like, that's not what that's talking about. That's not what it's talking about. Let me cut you on that. No, it's an outstanding verse, that God gave his one and only begotten son, the only thing that he ever created in this whole world. He gave his only thing as an offering, as a sacrifice, and told him, if I do not forsake you, if I do not leave you to suffer this punishment, to die on that cross, I would have to forsake this whole nation. I would have to get away with this whole nation. I told them, and I promised them, and I made a covenant with them saying that I will do this. You have to go through it. You have to. So he watched his only begotten son die on the cross, being tortured in a gruesome way. If y'all haven't seen, it's not the Passion of Christ, it's the Case for Christ. It's about, well, watch the Passion of Christ too. But the Case of Christ is an atheist who goes about, he's an atheist, he's a reporter, and he's going about his way to try to prove that Jesus is false. And all he did was just prove that he was right. He went to scientists, he went to historians, he went every single direction he could have. And then at the end, he had faith in Christ. Of course, it was a white man on the screen, but you get the point. But the scientist literally tells you how he was crucified, and the documents, and what would happen to his body when he would be crucified, in such torment and tortures that he would have to go through when he went through it. He literally went into it. And Yahweh sat there and watched that happen so that we can have a chance to turn back to the Heavenly Father and begin to follow him. So yes, God gave Yahushua to the nation of Israel so that he would die and suffer on that cross. So all the sins and all the punishments that y'all wicked ass motherfuckers did and my wicked ass did, we wouldn't have to suffer the punishment. It's a beautiful verse that maybe we can have everlasting life and never perish. That is the importance of the verse. But we take it, we don't like it because Christians use it all the time. But it's true, right? But Matthew 23 and 23, it's deeper than just cutting a Christian, right? Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you pay tithe and mint and anise and cumin and have omitted the weightier matters of the law. The weightier matters of the law. Judgment. Not because they weren't executing judgment. Not because they denied judgment. It's because they were doing something. Well, they did execute judgment and they did not execute judgment. But it was just unrighteously. Right? But watch this. G2920. I'm gonna read something. Separating, sundering, separation, an opinion or decision given concerning anything. You have neglected the weightier matter of the law when given an opinion or a decision on anything. And how have you neglected it? Because you don't follow it. I don't know if, I mean, this is our life. But like we Israelites, we literally tell people boldly we're Israelites. We put on our fringes every day. We put oil in the beards or whatever facial hair you have for the men. We look at the tags on our outfits. We spend countless hours in grocery stores looking at all types of ingredients, making sure that pork is not in that motherfucker. We are aware of when our family members are trying to get us to go to a birthday party. We are aware about our feast days and we go out of our way to celebrate these feast days. Because it's our law, it's our heritage, it's what we have, it's what we have to do. We don't hold grudges. We forgive our brothers because it's what we have to do. But judgment and giving an opinion on something and making a decision on something is part of it as well. So be careful. Be very careful. Because Christ said that the scribes and the Pharisees did the same thing. They didn't understand how to judge properly. We don't want to make the same mistakes. It says, by extension, terminating by application, justice, especially divine law, accusation, condemnation, damnation, judgment. Right? And I want to tell y'all, though you are not given a biblical judgment, when it, like I said earlier, if you view a brother a certain type of way because of what he did or what you heard him do, you still gave him a judgment. You look at him as that person and you believe that that's who that man is. Yeah, he did that. You're accusing him too. You already fell victim of making that same accusation. You know, goof ad in the due diligent. You didn't read the law before doing that. Put one in the chat if y'all celebrate Passover without knowing who celebrates Passover without even knowing how to celebrate it? Who just neglects to read Exodus 12 and just say, yep, I'm gonna celebrate Passover with chicken? We don't do that. We don't do that. And the reason why we don't do it is because the law doesn't tell us how to do it. Yeah, some of us could have been Pharisees. Some of us are Pharisees. Okay, to you. Some of us are Pharisees. One, that's not how you spell Zeets. That's Zayitz. I don't know what that is, or a Jewish tradition, and no, they're not. You can say that the lily that we have is a Jewish tradition. Does that make it true? No. Literally in Numbers 15 and 38, that word is literally zit. Okay. Again, this is a prime example, y'all, on how to make a matter known. Make a matter known. Judge a matter. I don't know why I say make a matter known. Right? Because he said our zits or zayits, whatever he said. He said, that's 28. He said that they are a Jewish tradition. Speak unto the children of Israel and bid them that they make them fringes in the borders of their garments. I just want to let you know something, brother. When you look at that word fringes, it's literally zit, which you just spelled horribly. No shot at you, but it's literally the word that you just put on here. So, nice try. You would have to re-say that statement. Get your facts straight because that did not work for you. But anyways, we have to have proper judgment when viewing a matter. Apparently, Passover, Jewish tradition. No tattoos, Jewish tradition. Animal sacrifice, Canaanite tradition. Listen, come on, we gotta do better, bro. So yeah, man, look at Numbers 15 and 38. Look at that Hebrew word and tell me what it says. If it says something else other than what you tried to spell, I mean, hey, man, no. He said your Zeets are Jewish tradition. How you know I got on Zeets? That's a good question. How you know I got on Zeets? You see, y'all, this is what happens when y'all don't make diligent inquisition. You don't know. You don't know. Right? So moving on, right? Christ told us to make a better judgment. You focus the same way faith is important is the same way that our judgment is important. I want to make sure that it's clear. We have to be on point when it comes time to judgment if you want to make it. If you're not good at judgment, if you're not, he said, better check my windows. Hey, listen, man, I don't think you wanna, you know. I mean, I got a Bible for him that he could read. Wait, open it up. Let's read the definitions, please. You're gonna have to wait. But if you wanted to join, you could join. You could join for she's what that a mob in this motherfucker? Shout out to that brother, man. Shout out, I love that brother. His son is dangerous. Right? His son is dangerous. Very much so dangerous. In a good way, righteous way. Right. But shout out to that brother all the way out in Hawaii. Right. So let's go back to Exodus 23. We read, so let's read this. Let's read this in the NLT. Right. So verse 6, Exodus 23 and 6 in the NLT. It says, in a lawsuit, you must not deny justice to the poor. So if somebody is poor, somebody ain't got money, you do not deny him justice. You hear his matter. You see him for who he is, right? He's another Israelite that deserves righteous judgment. That's what he deserves. Verse 7, be sure never to charge anyone falsely with evil. Y'all should never charge anybody falsely with evil. That's not what we do, right? We don't look at our people and say, you know what, I'm finna falsely accuse him. We don't do that. That's not what we do. We don't look at a sister and say, oh man, she's in the world, man. Hey, man, she's evil, man. She's evil, man. We don't do that. If she's not evil of what she's being accused of, if she's not guilty of what she's being accused of, don't charge her. Right? Where's Friday? Who is you? Oh, was you the brother that joined the other day? Was you the brother that joined? I don't know why I thought your name was something else. You we had talked to you a couple times. I'm trying to remember. We talked to you on Millab. Last time we seen you, you just kind of showed up. You didn't really say nothing. You just bounce out. Is that you? It has to be you. I forgot that was you. My bad, bro. I thought you was just some random scoffer. But yeah, we could look at it. There was actually somebody who came up at camp one time making the same argument. Nah, he's not a stalker. He's not a stalker, bro. He's not a stalker. I need you to remove that down, y'all. That's who I think it is. Shalom Lahad. Look at him. Hey man, shout out to St. Louis, man. You know what I mean? Shout out to St. Louis, man. Shout out to that brother, man. Yeah, he came by and I've been waiting for him to swing back around and talk to us. I just never seen him. So yeah. We're gonna be out there on First Friday. We're not gonna be holding camp. But we're gonna be out there. So yeah, holla at your boy. Right. But part of the law, you Israelites, is to never charge anyone falsely with the matter. If somebody else charges somebody with the matter and you say, Khan, man, he did that, you just charge them falsely with a matter and you just broke the law. Never sentence an innocent or blameless person to death, for I never declare a guilty person to be innocent. Right? Oh, praises. So yeah, I'll see you, bro. Trust me. What's crazy is through the spirit, I was literally talking about that yesterday. Was it yesterday or the day before? Yeah, I think it was yesterday. I was literally talking about it yesterday. I want to talk about that. But yeah, we can talk about it for Friday. So that's what we should do when it comes time to judgment. Verse 8, take no bribes, for a bribe makes you that you clearly see. It doesn't, listen, nigga be thinking, bribe is not just money, y'all. Bribe is not money. A nigga with good breakdowns can be a bribe. Oh, he got good. He can't, bro. He has good breakdown. You've been bribed. What he produced, what he given you, you now are taking that over what you should really judge. Right? Ah, man, he just doesn't sound like a liar. What? He don't sound like he's lying. Hey, man. That nigga lying. Right. A bribe makes even a righteous person twist the truth. So mind you, a righteous man, somebody who is following the laws, statutes, and commandments, even a bribe can cause him to give a false judgment. Right. Verse 9, you must not oppress foreigners. You know what it's like to be a foreigner, for you yourself were once foreigners in the land of Egypt. Meaning if somebody's not familiar with the land of Judah, if somebody wasn't familiar with Israel, you do not oppress them because he was born in Asia. You don't do that, bro. And if somebody is new to the truth, you don't just take somebody else's side who's been in the truth for a minute. We don't do that. That's not what we do in judgment. It doesn't matter if he's the number one. God, my phone is just going nuts. It doesn't matter if he's the number one nigga in Israel. We do not take his side. And it doesn't matter if he's a prospect in any camp. You still have to hear him. You still have to see if he's really telling the truth. If a man is telling the truth, he's telling the truth. What's wrong with us, man? This goes literally, it's full circle. And I don't know what's wrong with y'all. Not y'all, Salaki. I don't know what's wrong with people, but we have a literal thought that we don't have to follow the law of judgment. We don't inquire about the other position. We don't care to hear what somebody has to say. If a nigga is being accused of a sin and you don't care what that person says, if you don't care about the accused person, if you don't care about what he says, my nigga, don't make a judgment, bro. Just leave it alone. Don't talk about the matter. Don't think about the matter. Don't have an opinion on the matter because you don't care to do it according to the laws of God, which Christ told you to do. If you are going to make a decision or an opinion on any matter, a judgment, you have to do it according to how God get. Now, listen, I'm not talking because I know a nigga who will tell everybody that Curry is the best basketball player to ever exist. And if he's watching, he said that's right now. I know that this man will argue up and down that Curry is the number one basketball player that ever existed. I know somebody who will say that LeBron is. I know somebody who will say that Jordan is or Kobe is. We're not talking about that. Though you should still apply it, because if you say Kobe is, but Curry's stats in every single capacity is better than Kobe's, you cannot say he's a better basketball player. That's diligent inquisition, y'all. That's inquiring, y'all. Now, I didn't inquire on that, so I never get into that conversation because I don't care who's the best basketball player to ever exist, because I played it growing up, right? I played it in high school. My brother said I could go to the same college as him. He can get me in. He said he can get me to go overseas. When I was deeply in love with basketball, but I just generally don't care no more, right? I don't watch basketball no more. I don't pay attention to it. I don't play 2K no more. But in high school, so I teach the Bible, something better, right? You literally have to make diligent inquisition, right? And you have to have your facts straight before you give a matter in anything you do, right? My pops, shout out to him. My pops, he always told me basketball applies to everything in life. Now I ain't gonna cat to you, I never agreed with that. I'm like, how did basketball apply to cooking? What the hell I need basketball for to cook? Because I could throw an empty seasoning can in the trash can. Nah. But the Bible applies to all things. You can literally use the wisdom of the Bible to be a foreman at your job. He played Christians. I'll go ahead and pause that. Don't even say Kobe when I throw something in the trash. Damn. I do. Shit. Nigga, what? Matter of fact, my trash can on me. Damn, I got a chair block. Man, y'all lucky I ain't got nothing around me to throw away. I mean, I got a nickel, but yeah, I ain't throwing a nickel across the room. But I damn sure say Kobe. Right. I'm just a real nigga. All praise. All praise. Little nigga, y'all right? Pray the Lord. Verse 9. You must not oppress a foreigner. Okay, so boom, that's what I was talking about. So anybody who is new to the faith gets the same opportunity as somebody who's been in the faith for 20 plus years, right? His matter needs to be heard as well, right? Plant your harvest crop 6 years. Let's go down. Oh no, let's go 2 chapters before actually. Right, so yeah, fair treatment of slaves. Let's turn this to the KJV. You got to go all the way down. Okay, so boom. I thought this said something else. Because this is a type of judgment, right? So if you get into a squabble with somebody and you fight them, and partner gets, say he got to be on bed rest, so he gave him a mean hook to the liver. He on bed rest, he missed work. You gotta compensate that brother for them days that he missed, right? It says, only he shall pay for the loss of his time and shall cause him to be thoroughly healed, right? So, that a woman, well, yeah, this is dealing, yeah, okay. So this is just types of judgment. So maybe I'm thinking of the wrong thing. I know Numbers 35 speaks about 2 or 3 witnesses. Any questions in the chat concerning the topic? Any questions concerning judgment? Tips on how to judge. I'm not the number one judge in Israel, so don't look at me as the number one judge in Israel. But this is something that Solomon prayed for, right? Let's go to let me get this real quick. let's just put this up. Wow, I'm trying to find it. All right, 1 Kings 3 and 9. Boom. 1 Kings 3 and 6, actually. It says, and Solomon said, Thou hast showed unto thy servant David my father great mercy, according as he hath walked before the. Let me start. Verse 4. It says, And the king went to Gibeon to sacrifice there, for that was the great high place. 1,000 burnt offerings did Solomon offer upon that altar. And Gibeon, in Gibeon, Yahweh appeared to Solomon in a dream by night, and God said, Ask what I shall give you. Right. So Solomon was, I mean, if you have a question that's not on the topic, you can go ahead and shoot your question. It's all good. But Solomon was asked, what you want? Now, a lot of you niggas, if God asks you what you want, y'all gonna be like, I want, I don't know what y'all would ask for. I'm over here thinking there's so many things. I want a righteous woman. Hey, man. I want a righteous man. I want riches like David. But verse 6. Verse 6. And Solomon said, Thou hast showed unto thy servant David, my father, great mercy, according as he had walked before thee in truth, and in righteousness, and in uprightness of heart with you. And you have kept for him this great kindness, that you have given him a son to sit on his throne as it is this day. Oh, and now, O Yahweh, my God, you have made thy servant king instead of David my father, and I am but a little child. I know not how to go out or come in. And thy servant is in the midst of thy people, which thou hast chosen, a great people that cannot be numbered nor counted for multitude. Give therefore thy servant an understanding heart to judge thy people, that I may discern between good and bad, for who is able to judge this thy so great a people? Right. And then later on is when he gave that judgment of, he said Hellcat on 30s is crazy word. No, snaps. Yeah, I think it's funny as hell. But Solomon asked for an understanding heart to judge, oh Lord, to judge the children of Israel, right? And understanding, H8085, simply means to hear, listen, obey. To hear, give heed, heard. Proclaim, understand, whatsoever heareth, witness, show, obedience. Right? Sound, right? Heart, which is lab, which just means mind, right? Inner man, mind, heart, will, understanding, right? Give me a sound mind to judge your people, that I may discern. Discerning meaning to understand, consider, observe, mark, give heed to, distinguish, have discernment, insight, to show oneself, to mark, perceive, to be prudent, teach, think, understand, so on and so forth, right? But let's get the definition of this. Right, the definition of discernment, it says the ability to judge well. The ability to judge well. Answer my question with that last verse. Judging and discernment. Yeah. Praise up. Shalom, Northern Kingdom Saints. You ain't fuck with the South Side. You ain't fuck with Southside Jerusalem. Damn. Why we gotta be mean, man? But as I told y'all before, I do, and I hope, Lord willing, it can happen, to have Yaash. He just texted me. Priest Yaash, he's in Dago, officer 20K, chief regional officer. Is that his title? That might not be his title. But he's a powerful officer. powerful priest in Dago. I want to have him, and then Sergeant Bazak. He's in LA, or Hollywood. Yeah, Hollywood. I don't know Cali. But he is a. Will we go to the south side? Yeah, man, because that's where Christ's gonna be at. Lord willing, Christ gonna be with the south side niggas at in the kingdom. But yeah, I do want to have a live with them, speaking about judgment and counseling, getting understanding. You know, because them brothers good at it. So, y'all ain't got no questions. Y'all ain't got no questions at all. Huh? Y'all ain't got no questions at all. I'm almost to 1,000 subscribers, y'all. Almost to 1,000. How the hell did he get him? Oh, I wonder why that is. Quick announcement. If y'all are not subscribed to Sakari Dallas, all right, let me show you. Yeah, guys, to be. All right, y'all just gotta be subscribed to Sakari Dallas. Because we got a powerful brother out there, an officer out there, Tazadak, right? Malak Tazadak. Why is it not popping up? Oh, it's right in my face. So like, yeah, I'm over here looking at it. Boom. Make sure y'all go subscribe to the brother. You know, building up Dallas out there. Not building up, but he's out there pushing work. He great at graphic designing. So if y'all need help at graphic designing, go holler at him. And he gonna he gonna help y'all out, right? Make sure y'all support that brother in his business. Daniel 7:13-14, one like unto the Son of Man. Is Yahushua correct? What is a good precept to prove that it is Yahushua and not the nation of Israel? Watch this. Yeah, because you dealt with an OT only, huh? Or are you an OT only? No, you're not an OT only. You might be. Let me not say that. Are you OT only? Or have you dealt with an OT only? That's why you brought this up? Because they'll say that the Son of Man will later be speaking about Salakia, the children of Israel. Let me see what you got to say real quick. But I'm gonna show you something. All right, brother just gotta read it slow, to be honest. Give me 1 second, y'all. Yeah, I assume so. I assume so. So, one question that I would just ask is very simple. It says, "And I saw in the night visions, behold, one like the Son of Man came with the clouds of heaven." What are the clouds of heaven? Northern Kingdom saying, who do you think the clouds of heaven represent, or what do you think the clouds of heaven represent? Tabawan. Come on, Tabawan. Man, Daniela, move. Go somewhere. I said, I was talking to Tabawan. They good? God damn, Northern King. Oh, he's Northern King. Oh, he's not on that channel. Authority. Um, him having the authority, whoever this is, him having the authority, correct. But what would be the clouds of heaven? Right? My bad. I didn't know he was on that. He wasn't on that channel. It would be the chariots. Right? Now, who would be operating these chariots? They're not just going to be driving itself with nobody in them. No, chariots have what's the a driver. Is that the word I'm looking for? Not a driver. I guess you could say that. Somebody's driving, flying. What is the word I'm looking for? It's right there. But somebody will be flying these chariots, right? Who's flying these chariots? It would be the children of Israel. Be men, operator. Boom. I don't think that's the word, but it's better than what I just said, right? They have operators. Who would be operating these chariots? Well, it wouldn't be the Son of Man because it says that he came with them. Not that he is them, but he came with them. So he's going to have an army outside of himself, which would mean that it's a man who does have the authority over not navigating. Yeah, I think navigating is the word. I ain't gonna cap. So-called Ephraimite. Okay, boom. The brother Ephraimite. Yeah, Daniel Ali, he's supposed to be Ephraimite. He just, he confused. He a wild olive tree out there. Don't mind Daniel. Nah, I meant it was another word. Navigating is the word. Somebody is navigating these. All right, let's just not try. He said, Daniela said why he say so-called is because he's not oh yeah, that's weird. Why you say so-called Ephraimite? Well, a Parion. Feel me? But yeah, so Tabawan, this is Ephraimite dog. He has an army, right? God bless everyone. God bless Phoenix. Are you going to heaven? Yes. 1, yes. 2, no. 3, don't know. Yeah, I'm going to heaven. Boy, you Jew man. What's going on with y'all? Did I just start like a whole Southern Kingdom versus Northern Kingdom shit going on? My bad, y'all. Let me stop. Anyways, but nah, he has an army, right? Now, of course, OT onlys don't like to go to the New Testament, but Revelation 19 does speak about the Son of Man coming with a cloud and with a heaven. You also have let me go this one actually. I've been waiting to talk to OT only, but I ain't gonna cap. They live out here. They be going live on TikTok. They're very big on TikTok. But one of them lives out here, and we told him to pull up because he can easily. It's like a 20-minute drive. He can easily pull up to the campsite, but he's just not coming. So I'm not wasting my time on that, bro. I'm not gonna try to convince a nigga who does not want to be convinced. He knows where I stand. I debated him before though. One of them. What was I looking for? Oh. Oh, that's the wrong chapter. Let me just get the point. Damn. Now, they ever hear of Torah Logic TikTok? No. No, who I spoke to, his name is like Hebrew Servant. I mean, he seemed cool. It's just that he blatantly lied while I was debating him. At first, he said the suffering servant was the Israelites to the heathen, and then as I began to make diligent inquisition on his doctrine, and other people began to join, they said, "No, that's not talking about the heathen. That's the righteous Israelites, and then the wicked Israelites." And then he said he never said that, but I had people in the live watching that said, "Nah, bro, you said heathen." um, nah. Let me see if I might have. Hold on. Oh, I thought they done canceled my damn. Bro, come on. Hold on, I'm trying to. You said Torah logic. Let me see. Torah logic. Can y'all put a one in the chat if y'all can hear that static? Or is that just these headphones I got on? Oh, I see you talking about. Yeah, no, I ain't never seen this dude. Why he look weird as hell? I don't know if that shit's the. Yeah, no, I ain't gonna cap. He looks strange. But no, I could talk to him one time. That's my haircut and the headphones on together. You see, this is why we have the scripture that Ephraim shall not envy Judah. He's mad because I got long hair. Y'all, come on now. That's the name of a group on TikTok. That's Torah. What's it called? His name. They say what's the Sakari name in their mouth. Pause. Okay. Well, maybe I ought to start being on TikTok more. I don't be on TikTok, bro. I don't. Not a fan of it. But maybe, if you got TikTok, just look up Sakari Phoenix, bro. Or if you got Instagram, you can look up Tazarop. That's my personal account. I'd rather have you hit me on Instagram. You can hit me up on Instagram, and then you could set up a debate, bro. You could literally set up a debate. It could be on YouTube. I would much prefer it on YouTube. A whole OT only debate, and then we can have that debate live. Type one if you want. If you just continue to mention, he looks. I don't know what his ethnicity is. But yeah, I mean, it says one like the Son of Man came with the clouds of heaven and came to the Ancient of Days, and they brought him near before him. Who's the they that's bringing him, and who's the him? Right? And there was given him dominion and glory and a kingdom. What they'll do is they'll jump down, and then they'll go down to verse 44. Not 44. Verse 27, and the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominion shall serve and obey him. Right? So what they'll do is, you know what I'm saying? Tell them over, man, you gotta let them know. I'm about to give you the Tulio so you can boot down y'all. I'll just play it. But that's what they'll do. They'll read verse 27. And they'll exclude like Jeremiah 23, where it says that we'll have a king. They'll exclude Ezekiel 20 or Ezekiel 33. I think it's Ezekiel 20 and 33. Ezekiel 20. Oh, no. My bad. Ezekiel, I don't even think it's either one of them. Ezekiel 37, where it says, and one king shall be king of them all. They'll ignore this. Right. It says, and I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Israel, and one king shall be king to them all. They literally ignore that we're going to have a king. Right. So the Son of Man, who's going to come with the chariots, he's going to be the king. The chariots are the children of the Most High who are going to fight the wars. This man is going to go to the Ancient of Days and sit. right? This man is a literal man, right? But they just ignore that we're always going to have a king. But then you take them to other prophecies and they'll admit, yeah, we're going to have a king. So that's not the same king in Daniel 7? Nah, because it says that the kingdom is going to be given to the saints, which is true. It's not lying. That's what's going to happen. The children of Israel will have the kingdom. The men, the elect, they will be and have dominion in the kingdom of heaven. That does not mean that they won't have a king over them. Right? That does not mean, well, they don't believe in the elect, like the 144,000, because it's mentioned in Revelation. They might believe in it. That's a good question, though. Ask them if they believe in the elect. See what they say. If they say yeah, tell them to prove that in the Old Testament. See that? Yeah, they'll do that. You also have prophecies in Second Esdras, but they'll say that Second Esdras doesn't exist. Fucking ironic. But they cannot prove that it just doesn't exist. Because it's literally found in the manuscripts found in the Qumran caves. But yeah, bro, they just playing word games. But yeah, that's why I ask them. I'll go back to Daniel, and you just got to read it slow and make them give the proper understanding and say, well, what are the clouds of heavens? Well, that's the army. What does it mean that the Son of Man will come with the army? That's not him being the army, saying that this Son of Man will come with an army, right? The same way a king comes with his army. He goes to battle with his army. And then it says, and came to the Ancient of Days, and they brought him near before him. Who's the they? Who's the him? And who's the him? If they say, oh, the day is that the heathen. Yeah, right, nigga. Okay. Yeah. They could say whatever. Ezekiel was considered a son. You feel me? There's a lot of places where you can show that, yeah, men are sons. Ezekiel's literally called the Son of Man. So does that make him the son here? No, because he's called the son, right? They do the same thing, saying that they play a game saying that the servant in Isaiah in Isaiah is always Israel or Jacob. You want to know something? He was crazy. He was funny. I'm trying to figure out which one it is. Watch. What the hell? Oh, that's the wrong chapter. Am I tripping? Why am I forgetting this chapter? Let's say 56. Oh, Isaiah 49. Watch this. So watch. This is the one I wanted. There's a verse in Isaiah where it separates the servant from the remnant. I mean, I guess you can use this because they'll say that the remnant of Israel is the servant. But Isaiah 49:5, it says, and now Yahweh that performed me from the womb to be his servant, to bring Jacob again to him, though Israel be not gathered, yet shall I be glorious in the eyes of the Lord, and my God shall be my strength. And he said, it is a light thing that you should be my servant to raise up the tribes of Jacob and to restore the preserved of Israel. I will also give you for a light to the Gentiles, that you mayest be my salvation unto the ends of the earth. I got some cold ones. I think it's actually, oh, matter of fact, Isaiah 60. I think it's actually a chapter before, but they'll play a game saying that the servant in Isaiah Anytime it mentions a servant, like the suffering servant, they'll say that that's Israel. But I was reading this. Let me see if I can find it. I'd have to look for it. No, type one. If you want to set up that debate, bro, I ain't gonna cap. I definitely been fiending for a good debate. I think that would be cool. But if you zoom in under apologetics, on the top of the screen, it has my Instagram. That's my personal Instagram. If you want to hit that. Why is it? Oh, it's not blurry. But any questions? I don't think so. Maybe I could be wrong. Anybody feeling me though? Haters, it's okay. What you talking about? What you talking about, Willis? What you talking about, Willis? All right, any questions? Any questions? Y'all could change the topic on what y'all want to ask questions on. Really don't matter. Really don't matter. Fuck with the new design, though. But do stay tuned to the Tazarop account or the Tazarop YouTube. I should be recording a complete understanding on Jew and Greek. Right? Paul mentions Jew nor Greek in Romans 1, in Romans 10, in Galatians 3. It's also mentioned in Colossians 3. Right? So if you're confused on how to understand Paul when he says Jew nor Greek, if you deal with Christians that mention Jew nor Greek, if you deal with all of those things, you know, and you want proper edification where it's just dealing with Jew nor Greek, not Jew and the Gentile, not salvations for Israel. No, we're literally addressing what he means when he says Jew nor Greek, how to properly explain it, and how to confound the false doctrines about Jew nor Greek. What you confused on? What you confused on? Can you break down never seeing the righteous begging? What is actually considered begging? Simply asking Tawada. Never seeing the righteous begging. Is that a verse? Do you know? Is that a verse that you're thinking of? Okay, hold on. why you? Okay, that's cool, but let's ask questions about the Bible. Yeah, if you got a verse, if you could put it so I could read it. That sounds familiar. I just don't know it off the top of my head. Hold on. Not righteous for saying. Talking about Psalms 37? Oh, okay. I think that's what she is talking about. Psalms 37. It says Psalms 37. I hit the Instagram. They be trying to bait me into conversation / debate, but I know better than to talk about a topic. I lack understanding. I appreciate you, King. Yeah, plus if Con, okay, beautiful, all praises. Let's we can conversate. And I actually had a lesson that I was just teaching Sakari soldiers on specifically just Old Testament only. Right. So it's been a minute because they come and go. You know what I'm saying? They be popping and they disappear for many, many days and then they'll pop back up. But Psalms 37 and 25. Right. Let's start at verse 20. It says, "But the wicked shall perish, and the enemy of Yahweh shall be as the fat of lambs. They shall consume into smoke, shall they consume away. The wicked borroweth and payeth not, but the righteous showeth mercy and give." Right. "For such as be blessed of him shall inherit the earth, and they that cursed of him shall be cut off." Right. So it's given a twofold, right? You have the punishment of the wicked, and then you have the blessings of the righteous. It says, "The steps of a good man are ordered by Yahweh, and he delighteth in his way. Though he fall, he shall not be utterly cast down, for Yahweh upholdeth him with his hand." Right. So it's the same. You know what, sister? This is such a beautiful question. Because it's the same thing like in John 6. And I was reading it and I'm like, oh my God. Right. Same thing like John 6 and 35. It says, "And Jesus said unto them, I am the bread of life. He that cometh to me shall never hunger, and he that believeth on me shall never thirst." Right. So Christ says that we're never going to hunger and we're never going to be thirsty. But I was hungry this morning and I put my faith in Christ. Right. I put my faith in Yahweh. I follow what my Messiah told me to do, and I do what my Father instructed me to do. But I was hungry this morning. Does that mean we'll never suffer these things? No. Right? Watch this though. Because I asked myself, like, what if somebody asked me a question as to like what does this mean? Does this mean that we should never hunger? And that's why I love asking questions or asking y'all to ask questions, because I literally was going over it. Does this mean that we will never hunger? Does this mean that we will never thirst? No. And I'm going to explain Psalms 35 or 37 and 25 too. But it says, "shall never hunger," right? G3983, which means to suffer want, to be needy, to crave ardently, to seek with eager desire, to be in hunger. Because when you have faith in Christ and you're hungry, ultimately you will know that he's not going to make you starve to death. He just doesn't do that. A lot of times, especially men with kids, women with kids, y'all miss meals. I don't have kids. Y'all miss meals for your children, right? And I did play the part. So there were times where they ate and I didn't. But there are a lot of times where you didn't eat and you didn't have no food, but your children did. But you weren't worried about that because you had to keep going. That's the love that you had for them children. So it's the same thing with Christ. Your love for him and your faith for him will have you like, I'm just not, he'll protect me. You feel me? So when it says that, it's like, when it says, I've been young and now I'm old, yet have I not seen the righteous forsaken. Meaning I've never seen them just utterly forsaken. They've literally got what they wanted. And a lot of times when we read something like the children of the Maccabees, right? Them 7 children with that woman, they got what they want. They literally have a righteous reward. I'm gonna answer this in a second. They literally got that reward. They have something that is more precious than bread because they understood what was more important, which is the bread of life, which ultimately is Hamashiach Yahushai. But back then, I've never seen his seed begging bread, meaning they have ultimate faith in God, because that's literally what this whole thing is about, right? When you start at verse 20, it says, not verse 20, which one is it? It says, but the righteous showeth mercy and giveth. That don't mean that they had it. That just means that they gave it, right? It doesn't matter that they gave half of what they had. They still gave it, not wanting it, not begging for it like the wicked man did, right? And then it says that though he fall, he's hungry, or he went off, or he wasn't worried about serving Yahweh, but he's worried about something else, he shall not utterly be cast down, right? So though he fall and though he stumble, he's not going to be utterly cast down, but Yahweh upholdeth him with his hand, meaning in the end, he will always return back to the Heavenly Father. I have been young and now old, yet have I not seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging bread. Meaning, well, like I just said, let's like get bread, which mean food, meat, victuals, especially bread, grain for making it, right? You're not going to be begging for it. Now, if you were talking, like in your question, let me read it. It says, is a person righteous in the eyes of the Most High if they are always asking for something? Some of us never ask for anything, but we need, oh, the parentheses fuck me up. But we need, but just have faith and works. Lean on those who you can lean on, right? That's what we're here for, and that's ultimate love, right? And that's what Christ taught us, because Christ gave his life, right? He gave his life, but he also was telling people to follow the Father. He needed something. He needs y'all. Okay, I need y'all to stop doing this shit. That's what I need y'all to do, right? The Father, well, he doesn't ask us. The Father tells us. But if you need something from a brother or you need something from a sister, that's what we're here for. That's the sixth stone in not the sixth stone, the seventh stone in Sakar. We have 12 stones. The seventh one is a soldier values camaraderie and brotherhood. And brotherhood is not just when we go out, we go to a restaurant, we eat, we drink, we're merry, we have feasts where we're all happy, we're laughing, we're joking, but it's also when a brother needs something from you. If a brother needs something from you, give it, right? That's literally Deuteronomy 17. So if you need something, and somebody is helping you, ask them for help, right? Just know that when it comes time for you to help somebody, you better understand that you were helped, right? That's why Christ gave the parable of the rich man who required the tax and threw a man in jail for the little that he had, but he was forgiven of the things that he owed, right? The little man owed him some money. He threw him in jail, said, you can't get out of jail until you pay me your debt. But he was forgiven of his debt, right? He taught us how to forgive each other's debts the same way he taught us, listen, y'all need each other, right? We all need each other, right? So if you need something from me and I could provide it, I got you, right? One of the most things that I have is the breakdowns, is the lives, the debates, the entertainment, the edification. So I give it to y'all. But if there's something else that you need, you can always hit me. You feel me? We here. I'm gonna show you something. Well, I'm not gonna show you. Christ told us that the chiefest among you will be the servant. So in any way possible, be a servant to your people. Right? That's love. Right. So if you need help, I would never be ashamed to ask for help. Never be ashamed to ask for help. Right. Now I get not publicly, and I'm not saying, Lily, that I need help. Nah, you might be asking for somebody. But if you know somebody who needs help, just tell them, hey, that's the love that Christ has taught me to have, is somebody's always going to be financially broke. It just happens. Somebody's thorn in their side is they can never get up financially. They just can never catch a break financially. They can never be on time with it. It's just their thorn in their side to keep them humble, to make sure that they always call on the Heavenly Father for this thing and to understand that I need you, right? I have a thorn in my side, right? Everybody has a thorn in their side to keep them humble. It's whether or not they listen to that humility or that humility spirit, or that humble spirit to say, I need this, right? This is what I need, and I'm gonna go to the Father in whatever way He sees fit to provide it. I got you, right? I had about, if you're a little confused, because I be long winded like a motherfucker. If you're a little confused, you can definitely say, hey man, that's confusing. Try it again, shorter and sweeter. I had a brother accuse me of relying on worldly weapons and self instead of Yah because I carried and oh shit, Shalom, man. What's the word, play? How you been? I ain't seen you in a minute. But all praise that you still in this walk, man, still doing your thing, man. All praises, man. Praise the Lord. Because I carried and was interested in training and getting proficient with the tools, is that judgment or just vexing? If you listen, if a brother want to be a cold mamma jammer with that iron, listen, be a cold mamma jammer, right? You not sinning out. There's a difference between being very good at the craft of wielding a weapon and then putting your trust in that weapon, right? We have a lot of great warriors that trusted in Yahweh. Samson, great warrior. The nigga was wielding that jawbone. Boy, that nigga would get active with that jawbone. But nah, if you want to get very skilled with weaponry, that's your choice. You know what I'm saying? Be great at it. Teach your people how to do it. Make YouTube videos about it. Make Instagram reels about it and say, listen, this is how we further protect ourselves. But most importantly, put your faith in God first, right? Because without God, your gun's gonna jam. You feel me? Without God, you're gonna trip when you didn't need to trip. Without God, you will probably die before the battle starts, right? So make sure you keep God in your life. I'm not gonna finish that. But yeah, as long as we put our faith in Yah, in Yahweh, as long as we put our faith in God, we gonna be straight, man. Now, if you put that gun over God, which I don't think you do, you always been a cool brother too. If anybody puts the gun above God, then it's idolatrous. Yo, that's the main reason for why his father made them to vex. Out of us royalty. I don't understand that. But yeah, man. Lean on me. Hey man, my shit. I'm about to play that when I get out here. Lean on me. Ain't no sunshine. Any questions? Any more questions in the chat? Oh snap! I've been scrolled up in the chat. Oh no, I'm not. Father ain't no joke. Gator ain't take no shit. But yeah, man, y'all stay tuned for that Juno Greek. If y'all got any questions, I'll shoot them now. You know what I'm saying? You better type faster. If y'all want, stay tuned for that Juno Greek video. I'm probably gonna redo this video. I don't know, maybe not redo this video, but y'all stay tuned for the Juno Greek video. But I will start redoing videos like Revelation 12, that whole chapter that people go to prove war in heaven. I've been thinking about doing another video for that, most definitely. So that Revelation 12 been on my mind as well. I just went blind for a second or cross-eyed for a second. That one, and also parables, right? Christ has a lot of parables, beautiful parables. And I've been thinking about bringing Isaiah and, simultaneously casting, whichever the two works, parables with him. Cause, I know that he felt love with parables, right? So also breaking down the parables with that brother, as he's live and I'm live at the same time. Right. Any other questions in the chat? Yo, my motherfucking back killing me. I had this one dude I was supposed to debate, but he It's who Rob got on him. He got like a premiere. He looked like what that nigga look like. I just was thinking, hold on, where is he at? Rob, yo, what's up? He looked like oh my god, man. Let me stop. Shout out to Rob, man. Rob, y'all, what's up? Y'all go subscribe to that brother channel. He be having popping lives. My lives be boring. I gotta figure out what he doing. Right, but I appreciate y'all. Make sure that y'all understand how to judge properly before giving any type of opinion on any matter. If you ain't examined the truth, if you ain't asked questions, if you ain't did what Hamashiach Yahweh told you to do, if you ain't did what Yahweh told you to do, leave it alone. It's not your place. You're not supposed to be a judge, bro. You know what I'm saying? Just leave it alone. Leave it alone. You feel me? Because all we doing is just our mouth. Our mouth can do two things with a fire. You can spit on it to, make it go out, or you can blow on it to make it go bigger. Right? Take your pick, man. Ibarke Hawaii Shamarka Tim Luna, man. Shalom to you and your family, man. Peace and blessings to you and your family. Right? Pleasure to see you too. But with that, I do want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God, Abba Yahweh. We do so in the name of His only begotten Son, who the world instantly calls Jesus Christ. Kwam Yashua, and y'all stay safe out there.